the goddamn. Uh, why is YouTube such a fist in the fucking ass?
We'll do this one. Hero put out a video. Hero put out a video about our favorite dumbass. Chat, you're gonna like this, I think. You're gonna like this. Hero Hey put out a video about Hassan. I saw a clip of this on Twitter. I think this is about Hassan getting rejected by Mondani. He got, like, kicked out of Mondani's, victory party in New York. You know, Hassan, the guy who's basically been slurping all over Mondani's cock, saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah, he got rejected. He got, basically told, I think he got, the "you're not on the list." Why? Just put out a short little video about this. Let's take a look at it.
Guys, you're not going to believe this. Another set of Hassan clips has hit the internet. So as you may know, Hassan is a giant fan, a giant glazer of Zoran Mondani, who just won the election for mayor of New York City. He even has this little graphic of himself interacting with Mondani there, shaking hands. But unfortunately,
yeah, I swear to God, this is Hassan's Hassan. You know how Jay Clancy lives under Hassan's desk so he can desperately lap at his inverted micropenis? This is Hassan's Hassan. If he could, he would reside under Mondani's mayoral desk just so he could service the mayor while he was working. That's how much he's slurping dwarfs all over this man's cock.
But unfortunately for Hassan, like a week ago, his heart was broken by Mondani because he publicly disavowed him live on air.
Hassan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation.
Hey, the lean is not enough. I've got to get out of the way so you can see Hassan's face. When his idol, when his Oshi bitch slaps him on national TV. Okay? This is a national bitch slap.
Live on air.
Find the comments that Hassan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only.
Bear in mind, right before this, the moderator, I can't remember if it was the moderator or the co-host, brought up Hassan. I think it might have been the moderator talking about extremists online and cited Hassan specifically. And these two were losing their shit. They were squeeing like little girls. Like, oh my god, they're talking about us, bitch, we're famous. Paraphrasing, of course. When the moderator brought up Hassan as being basically an extremist threat online. And of course, Cuomo like downplayed it, and the whole time they're squeeing and just like, you know, basically fingering themselves into a libtard fury while they were listening to Cuomo's Hassan. And then Mondani speaks, and look at him.
Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only to speak to journalists.
Well, it's a good thing Hassan is handling it. I mean, what a champ. I'm sure he's not trying to save face or anything. Well, despite that, Hassan will continue out.
He was trying to play it up. He was trying to play it up like a joke. You know, he was like, this part just dropped. Where he's like, my Oshi. My Oshi. Why would you say that? Why would you say that to that guy? Why would you say that? You know he was crushed. And yeah, like, he was kind of, like, he was trying to laugh and he was coping so fucking hard. Because again, a few seconds earlier, the pair of them were squeeing like schoolgirls. They were absolutely squeeing like schoolgirls. When Cuomo was talking about it, and when the moderator brought it up, they were fucking thrilled. And then Mondani says something, and he's like, no! Oh, I better play this up! No!
Waiting for Zoran Mondani, and even the other day, visited his election party. Unfortunately for Hassan, though, there was another tragedy. Hassan was rejected entry to upstairs seating at the Zoran Mondani election party with a quote from someone who's helping her run the election party, saying to Hassan, I do not have you for the upstairs list.
I do not have you for the upstairs list.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're
So we can't
escorted?
go.
I do not, but if are you have this, then I can also just I can double check and just make sure.
Brevin, he's shocked because he fully figured that Mondani publicly disavowed him for political points. In his little put away keepsake card, he thought for sure that he was still his Oshi, and he was like, oh, I was just gonna do it for the cameras. I still love you, Hassan. But
Am I in?
Yeah, I just wanted a drink. I'm good.
After they were told multiple times that, yeah, you're not going to make it upstairs, sorry about that, Hassan left and continued trying to say that he doesn't really care, he just really wanted a drink, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Are there drinks here or no? Oh, we can get drinks here. All right, perfect. What do you want, Mark?
I don't drink wine.
Yeah, I don't care about going upstairs and, partying with Mom Donnie.
I don't care, stupid party anyway. I didn't even want to go upstairs. I was doing it a favor for him. I didn't even want to come to this stupid party. He sounds like a 13-year-old. He sounds like a girl right now.
And his other people. I didn't really care about that. I just wanted to drink, bro. That's all. Yeah, sure. This is pretty sad, though. Like,
Oh, he's a tsundere. Chat. Hassan is a little whiny tsundere. Yeah. Stupid fuck. I didn't even want to go to your stupid party. Fucker.
bro, that's all. Yeah, sure. This is pretty sad, though. Like, sad for multiple reasons. Like, bro got rejected by his idol. And the other thing that's sad is, like, this guy being Sun, claiming to be a socialist, but then, like, desperately trying to party with the upper class people.
Yeah.
Which, of course, falls right in line with, like, his lifestyle. Buying all this expensive stuff, and living in one of the most expensive areas in LA, etc., while talking about how anti-capitalist he is. And here's what he says after being rejected.
We can show
Oh.
you. We have no motion. We're out. We're done. It's
A wash.
we're washed.
I'll get
When he was even wearing his pearls. Look, he was even wearing his pearls for Mamdani. Oh, he got rejected when he was wearing his... He even got himself all dolled up, wearing his pearls, wearing his Gucci. Probably made sure he had the nice sensual perfume on. Haven't seen his shoes, but I'm guessing he's wearing the fuck me pumps. He was all dolled up and got rejected.
that within the next 15 minutes.
Most likely. We'll be escorted. Yeah, no drink tickets. No drink tickets. No drink tickets, no business.
$20 to pay for every drink.
Oh, the ring. Oh, the rings too. He's even glizzed up on all of his rings. He was making it known that he was open for business. Oh.
They wouldn't even give bro this, like, cameraman drink tickets either. They're giving out drink tickets apparently, but not to him. I mean, what? What a sad turn of events for Hassan Piker. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, that's the latest. Let me know what you guys think about that stuff in the comments, and I hope you've been having a great week, unlike some people that we know around here. But yeah, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the comments here and in the next one.
Here's another thing. Hang on a second. Here's another thing. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it, because this would be the perfect cap. Yes, here we go. This was the same night. I'm pretty sure this was on the same night. H3 posted this. Yeah, this was on the same night at the victory party. Okay, this was at Mamdani's victory party. This might have contributed to why Mamdani said, yeah, take that motherfucker off the list. Listen to this.
Done.
What do you think it means that this guy ran as a spokesperson for anti-communism? Did it work to stop him? That's it.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. And the reality of the matter is, there's a lot of antagonism. There's no class consciousness in the United
I'm going to repeat that because it bears repeating. I might even up the volume for you guys in case you can't hear. I'm going to repeat that.
Did it work to stop him? That's big.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately.
This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. So first, Hassan says America deserved 9/11. First, Hassan says that the thousands of lives that were lost during the 9/11 attacks were deserved in Hassan's mind. And now he's saying it's unfortunate that America beat back Russia, that America beat back communism, that he wanted Russia to take over America back during the Cold War. The face of socialism, the face of the leftist wing in the modern day, Jack. This is the face of the modern leftists and socialists. I wonder why Donnie said, yeah, take that motherfucker's name off the list. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And he's gonna go Pikachu shot face when they say, you ain't on the list. And get all sad. Fuck you, Hassan. You dog torturing, anti-American, cock-gobbling thundercuts. But too bad for you, you won't be gobbling Mom Donnie's cock.
Of aggregation. I'm thinking about quality in terms of being able to give recommendations. I'm thinking about quality in terms of usability, quality in terms of finding files. All of these things, and again, guys, I understand that almost everybody in here, like, we're all internet handies, right? Like, we're on the internet all the time. We're talking on the internet constantly, doing stuff constantly. I think that you really downplay the value that an average person gets out of having a self-contained system. You really, really downplay it. And I think Apple, Steve Jobs understood that. That's why he was such a great visionary. And that's why the iPod was so successful and it blew everything else out of the water. Its usability is something that is actually a massive accessibility issue, and it cuts out so many people that you just never even see. It's about convenience, yeah.
Split up over cable providers, the services themselves are getting worse by introducing ads and pushing less relevant content. And on top of all of that, it's just not that easy anymore. Even individual TV shows have certain seasons split up over different streaming services, and the first step in sitting down—
What? The same show is on multiple streaming services with different seasons? Is this true? Oh my god!
To watch a movie these days is to
What a
Google
scam.
what
That's
streaming
insane.
service
I've
has
never
the
heard of that.
1984 release of Gremlins, and if you're unlucky, what streaming service plus what VPN combo will give you the movie you want to watch.
Yeah.
If you're already going through all that effort, it gets really tempting to just replace streaming services with your port of choice, because in most cases, it will just be easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, streaming services were cheap and easy, which killed the need for piracy. But then, they slowly became expensive and terrible, which brought it back. Pretty straightforward, right?
Exactly.
Wrong. It's easy to write this whole thing off as just dumb companies being needlessly greedy to their own peril.
Yeah.
And while that's definitely
Sure,
part of the
that's what I
problem,
think.
there is a lot more to it than that.
What is it?
Music streaming by comparison is decent. There are multiple services, but almost all of them have almost all of the music that you would possibly
Correct.
be looking for.
And
As
also, you can import your own music as well.
result,
locally.
nobody really bothers to pirate songs anymore.
That's
Which
right.
is particularly impressive when you remember that just 15 years ago, 95% of music was being downloaded
Exactly.
illegally.
Service
Artists
problem.
have not been thrilled about the lower revenue they have got from streaming versus physical album sales. But most of them still go along with it because even a small share of something is better than most of their music being accessed for free.
Yeah,
This-
the thing is that, like, people are going, you either give it out for a price that people want to pay, or it gets stolen. Because they can't enforce it. That's the issue, is that, like, it's unethical to steal things, but nobody cares if you can steal it and get away with it. That's just the truth.
Raises a potentially unpopular idea that it might not be streaming that's broken, it might be the movie industry that's broken. The golden age of streaming was never going to last because it was never meant to last. So it's time to learn how money works to find out why piracy is really making a
Okay,
comeback.
let's find out.
This video was made possible by iScan. I was sorting through some old receipts for tax season, trying to remember which ones I still needed to
People
file.
have receipts?
And of course, one of the important ones had coffee stains all over it. The text was barely
People do
readable.
receipts
Classic
still?
me. That's why I started started using iScanner. I just scanned the receipt and it used AI to clean everything up. It straightened the page, fixed the lighting, and removed the worst mistakes. I could finally read the numbers again and drop the PDF straight into my records. Since then, it's kind of become my go-to. Whenever I'm scanning documents, notes, receipts, or even something my dog got his teeth on, iScanner makes it super easy to salvage whatever's left and turn it into something useful. It's fast and works across all my devices, and the free version actually does what I need.
Notepad really does this?
Editing,
I don't even
signatures,
know.
and storing everything in one place.
So you can
Check it out
like
with
save
the link
documents?
below,
That's cool.
and make your paperwork just a little less painful.
I don't even use paperwork.
Netflix is the most dominant movie and TV streaming service in the world.
Yeah,
It has over 300 million paying subscribers, and
Jesus.
unlike a lot of its competitors, it's actually profitable.
Oh, it's actually making money now? I thought it was losing money still.
But from its very first days of online streaming, they knew they would eventually lose people back to piracy. They just really didn't care. And to see why, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to look at some financials. Last year, it made $8.7 billion in net income after taxes, which is extremely impressive. But it still makes it hard to justify the valuation of more than
7 billion, 8 what, did it say billion? Wait, they only made $8 million, but the enterprise value is $500 million. Who the fuck decided that? An elf? Oh, after 10,000 years, it's gonna be worth it. Oh, billion? But that's million.
after taxes. Have to look at some financials. Last year, it made $8.7 billion in net income after
Okay, well, I guess he just said the wrong number.
taxes.
I don't know.
Impressive, but it still makes it hard to justify the valuation of more than $500 billion.
I mean, I don't know. Like, usually a company's valuation, especially if it's not like an intellectual property company, like Netflix does its own shows. Even with intellectual property, like, you're really looking at like a 7 to 15x multiplier from everything that I know about venture capital, period. And like, even 7 is the ceiling. 15 would have to be like some sort of like weird AI thing that like nobody's ever thought about. So, I mean, 540 is insane.
At that rate, shareholders would need 57 years for their investment to pay off, which is not a reasonable bet for a company in an industry that has only been dominant for a decade. 57 years ago, watching a movie looked like this. And in
Yeah.
another 57
serious
years from
short?
now,
Yeah, that's
it's highly
crazy.
unlikely that we will still be watching movies through the current selection of streaming services. Now, most investors in this company aren't dumb. They know that Netflix can't make their money back with its current structure. What they are banking on is being able to offer a cheaper service that they charge more for in order to fatten up those margins.
Talk about my margins, by the way. Being nice and fat.
Anyway, cutting content, raising prices, and pushing strange features like mobile games within the app are not some surprise new rollout. They are part of the
It's
dominant
the ads. I think the ads are what's really going to push people away from using apps. Because like people like the reason why people use piracy in the first place is because of accessibility. You could only watch a TV show at 8 p.m. And also because there were a million commercials.
thing that the company knew it would have to implement since it started offering online streaming. It would just be a lot better if they could do it without competition. Now, on the expenses side, there is some good news. As technology improves, network infrastructure has become cheaper for the same capacity, which means the actual cost to stream videos to users is getting better every year. Netflix's cost of revenue, adjusted for inflation, has actually been stable since 2022, despite adding almost 100 million new users in that time. Included in those costs are the
Wait,
after-
so their revenue stays the same, but they keep adding users? I don't think that's a good thing. That sounds like a bad thing.
aforementioned servers and network infrastructure, but it also includes the cost to license and produce their own movies, TV shows, and games. Another big reason their costs have been improving is because they just aren't licensing as much content as they used to, and that's for two reasons. The first was a business decision to cut down on a cost, especially for content that wasn't drawing in new users. The second reason is simply because they can't get their hands on as many titles anymore, because independent studios have made their own streaming services and want to keep their biggest IPs exclusive. So they
This
can
is the big reason. Is that, like, there are just too many other services, and you don't have a one-stop shop. Spotify is a one-stop shop. Netflix isn't anymore, and it's not even close.
force users to either switch to their platform or shell out for two or more streaming services.
It's crazy.
Netflix is slowly producing its own titles, but that hasn't caught up to the content they are losing from licensing. So then, why did
Netflix has a massive weakness that they don't have every IP. They they have to source themselves. Like Disney has its own endemic IPs, like Snow White or something like that. That, you know, maybe they can make something really bad, but it's a known IP that everybody understands. Netflix, like One Piece was a massive success. My dad watched this. He loved it. He thought this show was amazing. So, like, I mean, it was a big success. And even the Devil May Cry show, I think, did pretty well, right? But overall, Netflix has made good shows, but they have to source these shows themselves. And so they have to pay for licensing, etc. Whereas, like, Paramount or HBO, they might have the IP for this to begin with. Especially this is true with Disney. Like, think about the advantage that Disney has whenever they already own the entire catalog of Marvel movies. That's like such a massive baseline advantage.
Does this mean that Netflix doesn't care about piracy? Well, publicly they say they do, of course, but piracy is going to hurt their competition a lot more than it's going to hurt them. If people can't find a movie or show on Netflix and then give up and pirate it, that didn't really cost Netflix any money, because the vast majority of content out there.
I requested one of the doctors to call me. I don't count my chickens before they hatch. You know, I'll feel better whenever he's at home, but things are looking good. Let's get back to it.
A lot more than it's going to hurt them. If people can't find a movie or show on Netflix and then give up and pirate it, that didn't really cost Netflix any money, because the vast majority of content out there wasn't theirs to lose, and they most likely didn't spend the money producing it. A 2023 paper in the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization titled Pirate and Chill found that when movies moved off Netflix to another platform, piracy of that content increased by more than 20%. Now,
Netflix has such a massive first mover advantage. They're basically like the Twitch of like streaming platforms. Is that while other streaming platforms exist and they're successful, they don't have the same brand recognition and name recognition that Netflix does. Like, everybody knows what Netflix is. So I think that's another really big reason why this happens too.
First and foremost, that's an amazing name for a professional journal article.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it showed why Netflix hasn't been too concerned with online piracy. In a now infamous quote from the company's chief content officer, they said that in order for Netflix to be successful, we need to become movie studios faster than movie studios can become us. Piracy that disproportionately hurt legacy movie studios and their libraries of content was not something that Netflix would encourage. But behind closed doors, they certainly weren't too sad it was happening. Another way to think about this is that obviously Amazon isn't encouraging shoplifting, but it's a problem that hurts their competition far more than it hurts them.
LAPOV, I guess. I mean, they're right. You know, yeah, obviously people like... what Netflix is saying is that they have a lot of, like, smaller shows that don't have, like, a huge amount of, like they're not super well-known shows. So there are going to be less people pirating them. I think
Piracy
that's
has
true.
also been a handy way to go throughout the company's history. Back in 2013, it admitted to using data from online piracy sites to find out what was popular and therefore what was...
Hey, you could say this is unethical, but you can't say it's not going to be effective. That's a really good fucking idea.
Yep, figure out what kind of shit people steal, and then don't sell that.
licensing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Netflix doesn't care about the rise of piracy. But what about the actual Hollywood studios? Well, they obviously do, and they crack down on IP theft with furious anger. But they are in a difficult situation. They could send piracy back to the dark ages by reconcentrating their content onto a single easy platform. At the moment, that would probably...
They can't, because then you're just going to have people that are going to be putting up the files somewhere else. Like, it's always a game of whack-a-mole, and the more difficult you can make it for people to, like, consume the content, the more people will just simply take the easier route. I think that people will pay for the content if they can, but if it's money for them to pay for it, they'll just steal it.
Netflix, which a company like Disney would obviously not be willing to go along with because there's so much in their free service. If they keep competing, though, they are just going to make the experience worse for everybody and probably lose more ground to the high seas. Now, for these companies, this whole fight could not be happening in real time. There is a reason why music studios were able to play nice and make their content available just about anywhere while movie studios were fighting to the death. Music is simply much cheaper to produce, and there are far more sources of alternative revenue beyond just directly selling a song or an album. artists don't make
That's a
as
good
much.
point too. Yeah, you're right about that. Like having like this is something that like remember Matt Damon talked about this is that movies used to have like DVD sales that they could really pop off with. So like if a movie like a good example of this I think is I would say like maybe Dredd. Like they made a Judge Dredd movie in like 2012 or so. And if I remember right, the box office wasn't very good, but it did really well with DVD sales. And so yeah, Grandma's Boy was probably another one. Yeah, there's a lot of these examples, right, where like it sold a lot of DVDs, but like its initial box office was kind of low. And yeah, like Blu-rays, yeah, a good ass movie called Classic. Yeah, Idiocracy was a huge one that sold well on DVD. Yeah, that's a great example. Idiocracy is probably a better example than what I'm talking about, right? And so now you don't have that second